I stood unflinching as the hot liquid soaked my shirt, its warmth spreading across my chest. The room grew quiet, the silence pierced only by his sharp, mocking laugh. He lounged in his perfectly fitted suit, gripping the now empty cup like a trophy. "No need to make a scene," my ex-wife purred, her manicured fingers brushing his arm. "This is all he amounts to." Their staged cruelty was designed to humiliate me. But shame is a fleeting burn, its pain quick to fade. Revenge, though, lingers with a deeper sting. Moments later, his phone vibrated. I watched as his face lost its color, his confidence unraveling. Then a photo lit up his screen, and his features turned to stone. That was the instant his world began to crumble. I once thought she was my cornerstone. Together, we built a life through struggle, sacrifice, and the fragile hope you cling to when nothing else remains. She laughed at my awkward jokes, leaned on me when debts mounted, and whispered promises in the dark that I believed were eternal. But money reshapes people. Her new husband, a wealthy financier, brought more than luxury. He carried a smug cruelty, a polished venom, and a mirror to her growing ambition. I discovered their affair long before the divorce papers arrived. The late-night work calls, the unfamiliar perfume clinging to her clothes, the cooling distance in her touch, none of it escaped me. I saw everything. I waited. I planned. The night I found their messages, a calm settled over me. Her words to him were sharp, dismissive, slicing me apart. "He's clueless as always," she wrote. But I wasn't blind. I saw, and I remembered. Pain doesn't just wound, it sharpens, refines. In that moment, I chose not to rage or beg. I would outlast them. I started with him. Bankers guard their secrets almost as tightly as their wealth. I dug through whispers, half-truths, and forgotten records. It wasn't difficult. Men like him always overlook the quiet ones. I unearthed his hidden firms, his secret accounts, his falsified signatures, the kind of rot that topples fortunes and pride. But I didn't rush. Revenge is a craft, requiring time to hone its edge. Then came the family gathering she invited me to, thinking she was summoning a defeated man to mock. What she and her husband didn't know was that I had already laid a snare around his polished career. When the coffee hit me, I stayed silent. Silence holds more power than words. As they sneered, I sat composed, hands folded, heart steady, knowing what was coming. The call arrived precisely on time. His boss, delivering the news that his career was over, terminated instantly. His smirk dissolved like snow in sunlight. Confusion gave way to panic, then dread, all in seconds. Then the photo appeared on his phone, sent from an untraceable source. It showed him in a hotel with a woman who wasn't my ex-wife, a younger co-worker, reckless enough to let such a moment be captured. His face turned ashen. My ex-wife's smile faltered, unease creeping into her eyes. "What's wrong?" she demanded, her tone too shrill, too urgent. He said nothing. She grabbed his phone, and when she saw the image, her poise shattered. In that moment, the room's balance shifted. The predator became the prey. She glanced at me, a spark of realization, perhaps awe, perhaps fear. I leaned back and spoke at last. "You said this is all I'm worth," I said, gesturing to the stained shirt. "It seems I'm worth more than you thought." No shouting, no threats, just the steady force of truth. Power doesn't need to roar. He fumbled, tried to deflect, to deny, but his phone kept buzzing, messages, leaks, evidence dismantling his life in real time. His empire collapsed at the speed of a signal. And she, my once beloved partner, stood frozen, trapped between the man she chose over me and the man who refused to be broken by her betrayal. I walked away before their voices erupted in chaos. Her accusations, his desperation, the sound of two people realizing their foundation had crumbled. I didn't need to see their downfall. That wasn't my revenge. My revenge was my silence. My revenge was knowing every smirk, every cruel word, every thoughtless betrayal had been answered, not with anger, but with precision. As I stepped into the cool night air, a burden lifted, leaving me lighter than I'd felt in years. Not because I had destroyed them, but because I had reclaimed myself. Some betrayals call for forgiveness. This one demanded ruin, and I delivered it with quiet exactness, without regret. They thought me weak, mistaking my patience for weakness, my silence for surrender. But I am not what they assumed. I am the consequence of their choices, the shadow they tried to dismiss, the reckoning they never saw coming. And when his career turned to ash, when her illusions shattered, they finally understood. I don't fight. I don't beg. I don't break. I wait. I watch. And when the time is right, I strike.